On April 21, 1509, King Henry VII died. His son, Henry VIII, took the throne of England. He was just 17. No one knew what was coming. He would later break with the Pope and marry 6 times. Some say he was a reformer. Others say he was a tyrant driven by desire. But one thing is clear, this day changed English history. April 22, 1370. King Philip VI of France passed away. He was the founder of the Valois dynasty in France, and he clashed with Edward III of England over the throne. At that time, France had no successor to the throne, and both countries were in conflict over who would be king. Edward was the grandson of the French royal family, while Philip was chosen by the French nobles. In 1337, Edward refused to give up his claim to the throne, and the 100 Years' War began between England and France. His death was not just the funeral of a king, but the beginning of a war that would scorch Europe for over 100 years. April 23, 1920, Ankara. A historic moment unfolds. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk establishes the Grand National Assembly of Turkey. This marks the end of the Ottoman Empire and the birth of the Turkish Republic. Ataturk declares, sovereignty belongs to the nation. This assembly becomes the heart of Turkey's War of Independence. In 1923, Turkey's republic is founded, a new dawn for the nation. Today, April 23 is celebrated as National Sovereignty and Children's Day. A day symbolizing sovereignty and the future, with children at its heart. On April 24, 1877, the Russian Empire declared war on the Ottoman Empire. This event marked the beginning of a significant conflict in the Balkans. Russia aimed to expand its influence in the Balkans by taking advantage of the weakening Ottoman Empire. This event justified Russia's intervention. Russia entered the war to protect the Slavic peoples. The war's background can be traced to a Bulgarian uprising in 1876. Bulgaria rebelled against the Ottoman Empire in pursuit of independence, but the Ottomans brutally suppressed it. Thus, in April 1877, the Russian Empire declared war on the Ottoman Empire, and the conflict began. The war primarily took place in the Balkans, where Russia allied with countries like Bulgaria, Serbia, and Romania. The result was a series of Russian victories over the Ottoman forces, giving Russia the upper hand. In 1878, Russia secured a decisive victory at the Battle of San Stefano and signed the Treaty of San Stefano with the Ottoman Empire. The treaty recognized the independence of Bulgaria, Serbia, and other Balkan states, strengthening Russia's influence. However, the war intensified tensions among European powers, eventually leading to the Berlin Conference, where the treaty was revised. The Russo-Turkish War changed the political landscape of the Balkans and accelerated the decline of the Ottoman Empire. On April 25, 1846, near the U.S.-Mexico border, a U.S. patrol led by Captain Seth Thornton was ambushed by Mexican cavalry. 16 American soldiers were killed or captured. The U.S. used the clash as a reason to declare war on Mexico. This small skirmish ignited the Mexican-American War and accelerated America's expansion. It was the day when borders and history began to shift. April 26, 1986, Soviet Ukraine. The world's worst nuclear disaster, the Chernobyl catastrophe, begins. At 1:23 a.m., Reactor 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant explodes during a safety test. Massive amounts of radioactive material are released into the sky, and the fire rages on for days. The Soviet government initially hides the truth, and residents of Pripyat continue unaware. After 24 hours, the government orders the evacuation of 50,000 people. Pripyat would never be inhabited again. The radioactive fallout spreads across Europe, exposing hundreds of thousands and causing thousands of deaths. Chernobyl remains a tragic reminder of human arrogance and technological failure to this day. On April 27, 1650, the Marquess of Montrose invaded the mainland with royalist forces from Orkney. Charles I was executed, and England became a republic. But Scotland sought to restore Charles II to the throne. His goal was to place Charles II on the Scottish throne. However, they encountered the Covenanter army at Carbisdale. The Covenanters, superior in numbers, crushed the royalists. Montrose fled in disguise but was eventually captured and executed. This battle dealt a critical blow to the royalist restoration efforts in Scotland.